When you think of Roblox horror games, what comes to mind? Maybe it's those popular games like The Mimic, Piggy, or it's those classic horror games like Free the Facility or Break-In, or maybe even Survive Area 51 Shrek Correct SCP. Now all of these sound good and fun, but today we'll be taking a look at a genre known as myth games. Faceless, The Curse, among others, are exactly what you expect. Wait, what is that? Morgane?
Let the beginning of the madness commence.
Morgane was an unknown age girl who frequently had nightmares happening in different fictional places, involving her own collection of toys and plushes that are the same ones found at Frostbite Reanimated and the rest of their games. Each of these games are the representation of her nightmares, and the player would theoretically be in Morgane's skin, experiencing her experience. Not much more story is recorded from before their retirement. Grimblocks. If you see someone mysteriously disconnect in a game, you better hope Grimblocks didn't play a part, because if it did, not only will it sprout another limb, but you will also end up being the limb it sprouts. It's said once per year a player will be playing with friends in a full server of 30 or more people, when suddenly his entire game will turn black and they will be teleported to a brown and red room, completely dark, and they will see a thing in the top corner of the room. Only one selected player will see it out of the whole server. The players who listened to that player describe it said that they described it as a big dark block with tentacles moving coming from the center. The player also said it was very grim and dark and gloomy. Thus the name began to catch on. Grimblocks, that player, left the server and never came online again. It's said that it started out as a single block and every tentacle it has is a soul of a player that was unlucky enough to see it. Deadly Dark Dominus. The Deadly Dark Dominus is the stuff of epic legends. It did exist. It doesn't exist. Does Tinfoil know the truth? Who knows? DIY Dark Dominus description. Deadly Dark Dominus, also known as a Missing Dominus, is a Roblox item that has a status considered mythical, due to there being a classical debate on whether or not it existed at all. It is now an actual Roblox item which could previously be unlocked by inputting the code that comes with the limited edition Frostbite General toy from San Diego Comic-Con 2019. Malarina. Malarina is one of the few classic and very well known myths in the myth hunting community alongside Lysas. She began gaining popularity after the legend about her and Lysas had started spreading in 2012. According to the legend, Malarina was Lysas' friend, who alongside him got bullied and falsely reported on a daily basis. At one point, both of them got fed up with the way they were being treated and supposedly did something to people who harassed them. As well as these people's Roblox accounts, the Roblox admins then took notice of their actions and terminated Malarina and Lysas' old account, named Lucia. The legend then goes on to say that Malarina never actually made a new account, that someone else did it for her. Malarina joined Roblox on the 5th of June, several months after the creation of Lysas. At first, Malarina was a character who did not have their own account. It was only discussed and featured in Lysas' games as an NPC. Once Malarina's account would be created, they would friend Lysas, but would seemingly not interact with Lysas in-game. There is little to no proof of activity to Malarina, except for one time in 2019 when they came online. This would change in March 2024 when the Malarina account suddenly came online. They would then change their avatar to resemble Lysas' depiction of Malarina, and would begin working on their game, Malarina. They would also friend the user Twisted Thorny, who is known for their association with Lysas. Orinin. Happiness is a key emotion. Without it, life isn't what it should be. Orinin. Orinin is a myth known for its games, moving in and through my eyes. The first place has a hidden teleporter that sends a player to another game called in the end. Ornan is a man, his wife being Valorna. He also has 3 friends named Vodino, Excalidon, and Caxtind. They can be seen throughout his game moving in, and in the basement in other areas of the game. And they may also possibly be in the 3-tubed creatures in the facility in Through My Eyes. It's assumed that he and his wife were starting a new life together, as in moving in, there are jack-o'-lanterns around the house. So they probably moved in October, and the moving truck is outside. It's also possible that his story takes place around January 2004, due to the date of the notes and Through My Eyes, being dated as such. He took great care of his wife, according to Valnora, as in Valnora's game, the description reads, "Through thick and thin, he made sure I was alright, every step of the way." Also in her game, she is seen in a closet, crouching with Ornan helping her up. There have been many references to H.H. Holmes, a well-known serial killer in the United States, throughout Ornan's place. It also becomes apparent that Ornan is related to Gauze, because in one of the games in the game selection at the very end of the map, there's a frozen lake that says, "Ornan is upon us," as they have many matching models and other references to each other in their games, especially Ornan's newest game, Through My Eyes. He rose to popularity mostly in mid-2018 following various videos from YouTuber Albert Stuff being made on him, attracting a lot of attention to him. While he usually is very passive or even friendly at points in time, Dr. Match is quickly angered. He also seems to go through a few stages of grief, such as when he goes to visit his daughter's grave or other things. However, when Match was out of his character, he would show acts of immaturity and crudeness, sometimes dark-humored jokes. This was mostly in his Discord server and other servers he affiliated in. Dr. Match has affiliations to Satanism, and he is presumably loyal to such, even going as far to murder his own daughter, Vamp Girl 112. His behavior shows he's offensive about a few things, such as the aforementioned daughter, his business, etc. Dr. Match's account was created in late 2015. His therapy home being subsequently made shortly after. Very few pictures and videos exist from this point in Dr. Match's existence. However, things such as decals exist from this time period featuring Dr. Match's old avatar being possibly referencing. He would go on to occasionally befriending Lodger Myths and Mugen, and making updates to his therapy home. Much of his myths was rather uneventful until 2018, in which YouTube videos were made on him, drawing in massive popularity, and many people flocked to see him in his games. He would go on to have assistants, most notably Dr. Forrest and Gopherberry, and his myth would continue to grow at a humorous rate. Dr. Match would go on a long hiatus starting in late 2018, shortly after the release of the game Doctor's Grief. For a while, with his place visits would still slowly rise, finally reaching 100,000 plus visits shortly following his long hiatus from the genre. Dr. Match has gone inactive many times, however. It seems he has come off his long hiatus for a little bit to work on his myths again. He is not retired as many speculate. Around mid-August of 2019, Dr. Match came back online after being on a hiatus for a few months on and off. Dr. Match also returned on December 11, 2020 at Dr. Match's therapy home, taking in patients and insisting that they wear a mask for the pandemic. On October 11, 2021, Dr. Match also attended a sword-fighting event with Reckless Havok. Bobby's Here. Bobby's Here is a myth mostly known for his game Memories, which is the only game still accessible on his profile. His game doesn't provide any clear details as to his backstory. Although people have theorized about what some aspects could mean, his inventory is the biggest source of information we have, with decals giving us some form of information, such as his family. He is rarely seen in-game, but he has told a few people about himself. Bobby's Here account was made on December 14th of 2016. Sometime after that, he began working on what could later become his main game, known as Memories. Despite being created over 2 years ago, it still receives updates to this day. Bobby began gaining popularity due to the contents of his game, as well as the fact that it was favored on his profile 6 times. The fact that his inventory could not have been accessed from his profile, and a rumor started by people that something strange would happen in the game if he were to join it. The first 2 things were debunked later, and the last one is still up for debate as he doesn't join his game very often, if at all. One day after making the account, Bobby's here uploaded a decal called Beginning. The description of it read, "Everything has to start somewhere," and featured the first island of the game you see upon joining. On the same day, another decal titled Meeting was created. Its description simply said, "Important Meeting," and the decal itself featured another island with 4 people sitting at a table. Similar to the first decal, this was also a screenshot from Memories, and the island and it could be accessed by touching the statue in the starting area. On January 30th, 2017, Bobby made another decal named Me and My Family. The description read, "A good memory," and the decal featured a house with a table and 6 chairs with Bobby sitting on one of them. Strangely enough, he was the only one in the picture despite its name. Just like the other 2 decals, the place you could see on the picture was from his game, My House, which could be accessed by unlocking an area with the portal in the main game and going through it. February 3rd of the same year marked the day when another decal with the name Hometown appeared in his inventory. The description of the decal claimed that it's where the community is most active, and the image showed one of the areas from Memories, Lars Bar. And lastly, a final decal was released on April 8th, 2017. It was named Tree of Memories, with a particularly interesting description saying, "Where it all happened." Little Nathaniel. Little Nathaniel is a popular myth who is widely known for his many games, most notably The Thing That Walks With Her, and also for being part of the Consinity group. He has many accounts with many different games. A boy who thought of himself as less than human, Little Nathaniel lost his mother. He thought of himself as a stranger to the world and unworthy of existence. He paints himself red as a sign of his feelings toward himself, a failure and a worthy of nothing at all. His tie is also not real. It's drawn on him as a tie is usually worn by people of upper class and not a creature worthy of nothing. It is called a normal tie, but that's only what he wants it to be. He eventually tries to hate himself, but it falls, and he has a vision where he experiences the truth of life. His brain begins to turn back on his experiences, flashes of color and light. He realizes his purpose, and it is understood. His story is finished, and yours is ready to be written. Mr. Realism. Mr. Realism, also known as his name is Joey, is a well-known myth who gained popularity from Flamingo. He is a young, innocent boy with a strange guardian. He is known for his game titled Home. Joey, aka Mr. Realism, lived with his parents like any normal child until whispers began to talk to him. He answered and talked with them until they manifested themselves to him and only him. His parents became worried of Joey as he was speaking of playing with a friend that they could not see. They said they would be going on vacation but attempted to abandon him instead. Their lives were taken and their ghosts can be found on the island. Joey doesn't need his parents anymore though. He had a new one, the Screaming Island, where day was night and night was day. Mr. Realism made his account on the 10th of September 2014. His game was created on the same day, and it is unknown exactly when the game gained content. There is evidence of activity from him in 2016, most notably a decal named Frown, which Mr. Realism uploaded on May 29th, 2016. Despite this, the first actual videos and mentions of Mr. Realism organized in 2018. This included videos of his game, including one from the YouTuber Mr. Flimflam, entitled Creepiest Roblox Kid Showed Us His Imaginary Friend. It was horrifying, which was released in September 2018. After this, in August 2020, Mr. Realism, among 14 other myths, all joined the group Consinity. At the time, he was one of the few members to have the unmoving rank, signaling that the account was an important part of the group. Later on the 2nd of September 2020, his story would cryptically be revealed in the description of the Consinity group game. My name is Joey, but my mom and dad call me Mr. Realism because I always look at things how they really are. Mr. Realism. Mulberries. Mulberries is a classic myth that brings one to a place called the Double R Bar. They are also known for their many relationships with many other popular myths, being referenced in a lot of them due to their group named Collaboration. Mulberries is a myth with the second to most place visits on the Roblox platform. Mulberries is a classic myth known for the game The Double R Bar, a myth game popularized not only for its uncanniness due to the mechanic where NPCs' heads follow the player, but also for its 1940s Americana feel. Mulberries is associated with the myths in the M genre development group collaboration. Mulberry's early life is mostly unknown, however. Mulberries has mentioned their parents being gone and being left on the street, due to the fact that the current date is 2013, and double R bar and Mulberries is 21. It can be inferred that in 1997, Mulberries was 5 and was not on the street for long. Randy Stoneley then picked up Mulberries at this time and took them under his wing. It is unknown what Mulberries was taught, but due to Mulberries referencing history a few times, they probably had an education. In the boxcar, a few lines of text can be read which point Mulberries to being a dreamer of some sort. A piano is adjacent to the text on the wall, and it can be inferred Mulberries is a ragtime player with a dream to own their own bar. In the circus in the sky, in the kingdom of Sunosis, references to Mulberries owning a bar and being a ragtime piano player. Cult of Vin. Voiden Daycare is an ex-myth group surrounding mental health and awareness. It is known to have taken inspiration from games such as Pride Isle Sanatorium, utilizing similar sort of gameplay and storytelling. The following text is on the description section of their Roblox group. Welcome to Voidkin Asylum. Voidkin V1 is an art project that functions as a game. Enjoy the bizarre reality. Voidkin Daycare services include the following: apple juice, horrific entities, utilities that require parkour knowledge, and more. Official Cult of Vin group, founded and owned by Punch the Internet, Vin. Be in your cells before hour 18. Who is Vin? Vin is a psychic deity who has taken reign over a pocket dimension in the void. What are we? We are a creepy, cute, horror-orientated cult. Vin has called us into the asylum as we are ill. The asylum sends a distress signal from your telephone line. There is no way back. Learn to survive. We do have disturbing monsters and loud noises in game. We hope you enjoy your stay. You'll be here for a while. I hope you are comfortable. We offer professional resources for mental health on our social links and a community of others who can relate and help you. 777. Angered Fish. Angered Fish is a myth who is a part of the Ocean Terror myth, along with other fish people that he is friends with. He's also a myth legend in the Robloxian Myth Hunters group. Angered Fish runs a facility that Good Puffer, Grateful Solomon, and Angered made. Angered Fish was the first account created in the Ocean Terror myth. Angered Fish has a fermade mutated form called Finn, who is very rarely seen in game. In the video encounter posted on Good Puffer's channel, Angered Fish got lost after leaving the facility to go on a trip, possibly to Singapore, and found Dr. Connord, who asked Angered if he wanted to help him find a submarine in the nearby abandoned oil rig, which could hypothetically take them back to the facility. Good Puffer. Good Puffer is a myth that is known for being a part of the Ocean Terror myth, alongside Angered Fish and Grateful Solomon. He is one of the builders of the facility, and he has been involved since the beginning, alongside Angered Fish. Good Puffer and Angered Fish created the game Ocean Terror in collaboration because, according to the creators and Q&A, they wanted to make a silly, fun myth. The inspiration for everything being aquatic theme came from the youthful, the creator of Angered Fish, was playing one of AMB's, the creator of Good Puffer games. When they saw a fish in the game, he decided he wanted to make a myth too, and made the Angered Fish account. AMB saw this and decided to add onto the idea, making the Good Puffer account, and the myth blossomed from there. Des Mars. Des Mars is a former myth turned developer depicting her mental state, trapped in a coma after a school incident through their game, Mind Murder Place. She is known for having unique style, music, and behavior outside of her games. Des Mars is in a comatose state after the events of many presumed to be a school She's accompanied by 5 related myths, which have the title of Mind Murder Hiccups in the Myths Discord. Though they are often just referred to as hiccups, the names of the 5 are D8SD, E9F1, C76T, A8S7, and B78S. It is assumed that these 5 are imaginary friends that Des Mars has conjured up during her coma to keep themselves company. Though they may be representations of friends she had in the real world, they speak similarly to Des Mars and have the same childlike excitement. Desmarth is well known for her childish and ill-minded behavior. She is easily excited by bubbles, streamers, flowers, and other objects that can be found within her game, and often bring these items up and express her enjoyment of them in conversation. She and the Hiccups speak in very short, often fully capitalized sentences that can be hard to understand due to their brevity, and frequently typed in keyboard smashed gibberish. Due to the traumatic circumstances that led Desmarth to her current state, her reaction to the color gray, and the panic she and the Hiccups go into when they believe they see the Gray Man, we can assume Desmarth has PTSD. It also has been speculated that she may have synesthesia, a mental disorder where the stimulus of one's senses results in the stimulation of other senses and or experiencing senses for abstract concepts, such as flavors for words, visualizing time, etc., due to the nature of her games. Dollar Inc. Dollar Inc. is a group owned by Dollar Shipping, the current owner of the Myths Dollar Tree, which has been documented by Flamingo. Dollar Inc. was founded by Dollar Shipping on June 3, 2021. However, it did not start officially until June 21st of 2021, when the group was created. The group grew rapidly and reached 1,000 members within 3 months. Specifically, on the 28th of August 2021, workers and council members were given early access, presumably for the final testing. A few days later, the headquarters were opened to the public. On the 20th of August 2021, the dev forum development page for the headquarters was created. Salazar. Salazar is one of a lone traveler's friends or prisoners, who is most likely abused by him along with Yorna. He is described by a lone traveler as afraid multiple times. His personality seems to be quiet and scared of a lone traveler. He is also shown to be more rude and sarcastic when a lone traveler isn't present. This can be shown in the Yuko show. We haven't gotten any response from him, so we believe he must be dead. He was probably killed by a lone traveler since we haven't gotten any updates on him. We haven't seen him since the last Christmas video with a lone traveler in Flamingo. He must have showed aggression to a lone traveler, so that's why he must have died. Alinra. Alinra is a myth by association, known for their involvement with a lone traveler, who was most likely abused by him along with Salazar. The account was created in 2018 and was used for a lone traveler myth for quite some time, prior to being removed from the myth in 2022. He was presumed to be a bit mental, most likely because a lone traveler is abusive towards him and Salazar. During Alinra's first sighting, he was noticed to consistently spin in place. This was Alinra acting like a decoration for a lone traveler, because we sometimes see a lone traveler threatening him with a sword, which makes Alinra spin in place again. Saryanim. Saryanim, formerly known as Zalkas of Sorrow, is a myth formerly related to Zalkas. She is seen as a servant for other Salkases and is a fan favorite. She and the other Salkases have been featured on the Flamingo channel. She is now related to the district forces in Vigilate and Virtue. Saryanim, back when she was still Zalkas of Sorrow, used to be mainly quiet and afraid of other Zalkases and unknown people. She speaks when she gets told she could, but other than that, she is silent. Delron. Delron, also known as Paul, is a very well-known myth due to his game and behavior around others. He has many ranks in myth groups, such as Roblox's Myths and Robloxian Myth Hunters. As a child, Delron had been put on medication for unknown reason. However, it may be to do with a condition like schizophrenia or hallucination-induced psychotic disorders. Paul refused to take the prescription and described it as a thing that hurt his brain, and refers to the medicine as poison. On one incident, he flushed the medicine down the toilet before school started. This caused an episode where he started hitting other students because he was not taking the medicine, which made him think they were bugs. Bugs disgusted and scared him, so he had to kill them. This resulted in his suspension, where he had to sit in a classroom for an hour and then went to the police. Paul soon met a man named Matthew, who he fell in love with. Both cared for each other very much, but Matthew had to deal with Paul's condition and the burdens it had on their relationship. Soon Matthew started feeling scared of Delron, and he had locked himself in the bedroom crying as Delron had been throwing things at the wall. When Matthew tells him that the medication is good for him, he believes he and the doctors are lying. Feel Industry. Feel Industry is a group made by Good Puffer, which houses all the myths related to the Feel Industry myths in the Ocean Terror game. Feel Industry has peaked at number 6 on the Myth Hot 100, spending a total of 16 weeks on the chart so far. Greg was an early Roblox account that was compromised and then sold to another user in early 2017. The account was later terminated on March 21st of 2017. It was subject to a series of rumors mostly spread by Roblox YouTubers during 2017. In 2017, a large number of early Roblox accounts had their verified emails publicly leaked. As a result, people began trying to find passwords to these emails and send a password reset to it. This is most likely the reason Greg's account was compromised. It was said that in March of 2017, the same month on which the account had been given a new owner, Greg's status and place were odd and eerie. However, in the only available video with Greg, he seems to just walk around in circles without saying anything. All of this is understandable due to the nature of the video. In 2017, a large number of early Roblox accounts had their verified emails publicly leaked. As a result, people began trying to find passwords to these emails and send a password reset to it. This is most likely the reason Greg's account was compromised. On March 10, 2017, a user by the name of Dicycle sold Greg's account for $200 to the user called Noceum on a forum known as Vermilion. During that year, like John/Jane Doe, many people began speculating that Greg was going to hack Roblox on March 24, 2017, due to the strange blurb and place he had at the time. Popular Roblox YouTubers started making videos about this topic as well, until Greg got terminated on March 21st of 2017. Contrary to popular belief, he was not terminated for hacked threats, but instead for being a compromised account. On March 20th, 2017, a person by the name of Liam Doe posted a YouTube video playing as Greg, titled, "I baited you all." This title is referencing to the fact that the quote-unquote hacking was all a hoax, and many people, including famous YouTubers like Dennis Daly and PokeDigger1, fell for it. Similarly to the community, the owner of the Greg account supported the fake March 18th series. It made it look like himself was going to do something similar at a later date, which didn't happen. Gopherberry. Gopherberry was a popular myth who gained infamy for being reputed as dangerous due to IP tracking. Her games had themes of heartbreak, abuse, and mental illness. Gopherberry was a rather well-established myth within the community. She is well known for having her large connections to other myths, along with her violent and mysterious nature towards most myth hunters. She was known to be active on social media such as Discord and Twitter. Gopher transitioned to female sometime in 2019, which is why her account changed from what used to be a male myth. The in-character story of Gopherberry is poorly known. There are little indications of how Gopherberry grew up, but what became clear from her history in the myth community was her quote-unquote stalker persona. Though the IP tracking controversy and games featuring themes of relationship-related desire, she constructed the story of a stalker who wanted to possess her victims, presumably female in some manner. Nonetheless, it should be noted that Gopherberry seemed less concerned with the storylines and more concerned with symbolism. Dr. Aldra. Aldra the Builder, previously known as Dr. Aldra, is a myth that is known for his relation to the Saint Abida tribe. He is also known to be the original creator of the Realm of 9 Portals. Aldra the Builder, at the time called Jamie123, was created on the 1st of February 2015. Later in 2018, Aldra joined the Saint Abida tribe and changed his username to Dr. Aldra. Yubili. Yubili is an old Roblox myth who is known for her game Save Me? She was rumored to send people messages asking them to save her, and if someone went to play her game, their character would turn black, and Yubili would steal all of their items and make herself look like them. The Yubili creepypasta states that they would randomly message users, with the first message being, "Please don't laugh at me," repeatedly. If ignored, they would message the user once again, asking if they could save them from supposed bullies. If the user decides to save them, which is likely done by messaging them back, their avatar would turn into a ghost, and newbie would change their avatar to the user who saved them. Then they would message the player, "Thank you for saving me," while leaving the player unable to message others or change their avatar. NIMS. NIMS is a classic Roblox myth with no known account attached to them. They are an entity that has been reported to abduct children deemed lost after being taken by NIMS. NIMS is one of the first myths to be investigated by Roblox's Myths, all the way back in 2009. It was because of multiple reports of abnormally large creature lurking near places, specifically with a decent children population, and multiple missing person reports where they have been last seen in situations where they were alone or upset in some way. It is theorized that NIMS manifest more in children who have been affected by negative feelings, varying from sadness to rage. It is unknown if NIMS' ability is limited to only children or if it prefers them more than adult individuals, because children are more common to express feelings instead of containing them. NIMS' origin or reason for why it abducts children is unknown. Juke. Juke is a well-known myth in the community known for his game. He lives in Dave and Drag, a black and white town that burned down several years ago. Juke was created on the 8th of October 2012. Despite their account being made in 2012, it is extremely likely that the account began to become active in 2014, as most of their older Juke decals were created then, and the first mentions of Juke arose then. It seems that in the early days of the myth, Juke was somewhat active, with them getting more and more inactive as time went by. After 2014, the next major time they were active was in 2018, when the YouTuber Mr. Flimflam covered Juke. This led to an image from a Flamingo video getting added to Dave and Drag, which caused Flamingo to once again cover him. Around this time was also when Juke friended the user Darwin. After 2018, Juke once again went inactive until 2022, when the account was password guessed. The account proceeded to be active for a few days until both the original owner and the password guesser logged onto the account at once, which led to the account getting locked by Roblox. Since this, Juke has been active and likely always will be. On February 4th, 2019, an agent of Roblox's Myth Intelligence Agency created a brief investigation document pertaining to Juke. The name of this hunter is DHallWee123Alt. Lohi. Lohi is an old, well-known myth who is known for her game My Dollhouse. It is a game based around a dollhouse, and as you progress, it gets darker and more mysterious. According to Lohi's description, it seems that Lohi passed away in real life. Lohi is a girl that has a dollhouse. She and her only two friends seem to be Polish and use Polish words throughout their accounts. Lohi seems to be a worshipper of one of her friends, Yuki. In Yuki's game, there is a gravestone with Lohi President written on it, this probably being her full name. President means before or before day in Polish. Lohi passed away in real life on December 16th of 2017, according to her Roblox About section, and passed away inside the myth. Sorry for my English, I am Polish. I am not the original owner of the Lohi account. Unfortunately, she passed away on the 16th of December 2017. I am simply here to archive this account. I do not have any information on any of her games besides this. Her friends' accounts are not owned by Lohi. I cannot tell you who I am for my privacy. Thank you for your understanding. After this, Lohi would gain much attention due to the owner supposedly being deceased, with her also gaining some attention when the Roblox YouTuber Mr. Flimflam uploaded a video playing Lohi's game in April 2018. Later on in 2021, Lohi would become extremely popular on TikTok, which had doubled her 150,000 visits. Wilson Gray. Wilson Gray is an old and active myth who is known for his game titled Welcome Home, as well as making an appearance in Roblox's Myth Containment Facility. Wilson Gray had supposedly been playing Roblox ever since 2012. However, his account didn't exist until 2014. He used to be a school guard that was soon injured by Nithris. Wilson lived in Buffalo Lake, Canada, along with his many friends and loving family members. He claims to have a fuzzy memory of what happened in his past due to an injury caused by Nithris. He was taken to a house where he would remain captured to escape Nithris and return home. He would need to do a ritual. This ritual required dead bodies, which Wilson would obtain from unworthy visitors. Wilson would do the ritual in his basement, where he would have corpses and candles around him as he would lay on the floor. Black Sundays. Black Sundays is an old Roblox myth who is related to Nimoy and had a game with a puzzle that has never been solved due to the termination of Black Sunday's account. Not much was discovered of Black Sundays before his termination in 2011. What is known is that in his game there was a puzzle that was never solved. When a person would get close to solving the puzzle, Black Sundays would join the game. Black Sundays would join the game and persuade the player to stop their efforts. If the player refused and continued hunting, their account would be banned and terminated by Roblox. Black Sunday's account was made on the 2nd of February 2011, making him one of the oldest myths to be around. His game was made on the same day as his account, and is last updated on the 7th of February in the same year. On the same day as the last game update, Black Sundays was terminated due to unknown reasons. QA. I'm the QA guy. QA is a Roblox user who gained popularity in 2017 due to the theories made about them during the John and Jane Doe hacker hysteria. Although often considered to be a myth or creepypasta, the account had a genuine use by Roblox. QA is a myth with the most followers, having over 600,000. QA was originally a testing account for Roblox and later became more of a myth with John and Jane Doe. Their name could possibly stand for quality assurance or questions and answers. He was also one of the only few users on Roblox to have a 2-character username. Sometime after, his account created 2 games. The first one was DFGSDFG and SDFGFDG. But something strange happened when he joined games. When he joined games, what happened was everyone's graphics would turn back into 2005's graphics, and he could access one player's servers even if someone else is playing on it. QA was a second account to join Roblox. However, it was replaced by John Doe and was given the ID of 6. The account was created on June 30th, 2004, and was a testing account used by David Baszucki and Eric Hassel, who sometimes used the account on the forums. Around 2014 to 2015, he had his account password guessed by unknown user and ended up getting terminated. QA was on ban January 7, 2021, but for unknown reasons, sometime in 2022, the account ended up getting terminated once again. Napoleon. Napoleon is a popular myth known for being featured in some of Mr. Flimflam's videos. His games are quite gifted with unique advanced storytelling and generally being really well developed. Napoleon would only be active a few times a month due to unknown reasons, but would eventually be terminated. Napoleon seems to be a version of Napoleon Bonaparte, except he is haunted by his demons. He possibly has sleep paralysis where creatures stay in the dark around his house at night, possibly being inside a dream. The land that his house resides on was once owned by a tribe, but appears later with a cannon used to destroy the home. L40T. L40T is a myth known for their game Meat Circus, which is an amusement park-like game made of meat. The Meat Circus began when L40T's aka Liz's heart had grown outside of her body. Then G. Tyler 2001 arrives conveniently. He told her that it was possible for her to stay alive if she protected it. An unknown friend and her went to go find a place, and they decided on an abandoned sewage treatment plant that would soon become Meat Circus. Unfortunately for her friend, after the flesh began to grow, Tyler said that they needed to sustain it with blood of a man. They trapped her inside of the circus, where she remains to today. Akamana. Akamana was created along with Manavoyu at an unknown time. The two were made to be opposites of each other, aka being the bad, Vohu being the good. The two would fight for centuries, always resulting in a stalemate. The two were known to be the acting forces of multiple universes across many of the Cult family timelines as demons. Akamana, during the Cult family timeline, has been cited to be the cause of Smith's cult's downfall and becoming the Allfather of the family, aka would sit in the shadows watching and pulling the strings of the family under the guise that Smith was the one. However, it was revealed that Aka had a fascination with how the family developed across multiple timelines and apartments. Over the decades of Cult's family, they would watch and haunt the family. During David's bash to the head, they used this as an opportunity to allow David Cult to speak to Smith Cult. At this point in time, aka Akka, currently haunting for unknown reason. During the events of Enigma, Akamana would be taking a spot in the apartment room. It can be seen through that this apartment room was actually empty and was vacant in an earlier version. During Albert's video, the first event of the apartments occurs where a murder occurs directly across the room where Albert is staying. Jimmy would soon enter the apartment building after winning a card game and take up a room, apparently investigating the case under the impression that there was something else involved. Antichrist/Rust_TrustP. Antichristus, previously known as Rust Trust, is a Roblox myth known for their unique games and storyline. The Void Cult. The Void Cult is one of the myth groups known for praising the myth Noli, with the Void Cult being the most popular one. The Void Cult is currently the largest active Noli worshipping group on Roblox. As previously stated by the Void Cult is more of an ARG than a Roblox myth, but still considered to be a myth in the broader sense. However, it is not considered to be a part of the larger myth community due to rampant toxicity and drama. A long-lasting, persistent cult consisting of formerly regular Robloxians, which has now become an overruling presence of worshippers of what many believe to be a once-deceased demigod equals Roblox site admin, who has long since ascended to a higher plane. They believe in Noli and the use of void wizardry, guided by the void and the wrath of Noli. They are more communal and have a fairly complex society, being the second largest Roblox clan and also being more modern than other factions. The Void Cultists are also known for their diversity in both equipment and culture aspects, most of their members coming from other tribes and ethnicities of Robloxians. Many who find themselves within the cult are exposed to frequent sacrifices, tournaments, and experiments. Things may seem happy on the surface, but deep down, the crevice is a dark, remarkably sadistic society with teachings of witchcraft. They ignore the aforementioned beliefs of an old world to return to, either by choice or by force. Gathering of Followers, later known as Not Citadel, was a group created by Lord Beelzebub, at the time known as He Who Should Not Be Named, sometime around late 2018 to early 2019. It was a highly popular group in 2020 due to Flamingo making a video on and documenting it. Despite this, a story behind the myth was never actually properly found out about. On January 7th of 2022, the group was officially closed and abandoned and is no longer active. He was the appearance of a bald, tall man with no clothing but pure white skin, holding his arms out. He has a strong build with broad shoulders and black eyes. His location is in the Nursery Myth games and is always hidden. Since he has no account, he is only a model of a white man with jet black eyes. Him, also spelled Him in all capital letters, is a demon that resides in all of the Nursery Myth children's games, holding certain objects in each different place. He's also the gatekeeper of Shadelight, and is a person that commands Father Grimm to convert normal children into Nursery Myths. He lives in Shadelight, where it is rumored to be one of the many creatures to live there, as said by Chuck Lloyd. Izatar, also known as Eden, is one of the additions and a part of the Lone Traveler myth, and is an empress of the districts and vigilant in virtue. Izatar grew up in a small town named Piohurum with their mother and father located far away from the populated areas of the districts. They had a lover named KV who passed away during the invasion, which Enum witnessed. As seen in their game Piohurum, Eden survived the invasion and was ascribed to wander patronemia for days. They soon met Alone and battled him. Alone was said to propose after they got along, and they are now engaged with him. Foxcate was a lab experiment created by Lone Traveler, also the first general of the district forces and vigilant in virtue. While Lone Traveler was patrolling the districts, he encountered a fox. Any type of animal in the districts were extremely rare. Logically, a Lone Traveler ran after the fox and killed it to harvest its DNA. Foxcate is a product of an experiment of mixing a Lone Traveler's own DNA with fox DNA. Foxicate was made in a lab and is now a general for the district forces, and apparently Lone Traveler never actually knew about Foxcate. A Lone Traveler actually did in fact want to kill him and take his DNA. According to Foxgate, this process took a month to complete. District Omen. District Omen is a myth related to the Lone Traveler myth and was one of the ones who helped Salazar escape. When District Omen was first introduced as a character in Vigilant and Virtue, she was known for destroying district bots, being mostly quiet. Then one day she told Salazar to look under the bed in his jail cell. Under the bed was an escape route for him to escape solitary confinement. To this day, Omen and Salazar are both free. They live in Omen's hideout, safe from Empire's reach. Although the rebellion mostly stays hidden, the two often sneak into the throne room to steal pages from Foxgate. Other than that, the two mostly remain inactive. Grateful Solomon. Grateful Solomon is a character in the fuel industry myth. They created their account in 2019 and has been mostly inactive during that time, due to canonically being deceased. Rusty the Clown. Immanuel is a popular myth known for their games Serendipity Hill and their affiliation with Circus in the Sky. Immanuel was born in a city called Sunusodis. When he was young, a woman that lived close to the Circus in the Sky adopted him. As he grew up, Immanuel became influenced by father-son. One day, Immanuel's foster mother abandoned him at father-son's church. Immanuel decided to search for her, which led to him falling into a deep hole. Immanuel ended up falling into a town known as Serendipity Hill. After a few days in the town, Immanuel met a mysterious unnamed man who offered him a deal. Immanuel's dreams would come true at the cost of his memory. Immanuel accepted the man's proposal. A few years went by, with Immanuel getting into politics. He stopped believing in father-son due to not visiting his church anymore. Serendipity Hill was holding a mayoral election with Immanuel as one of the candidates. He decided that he would cheat his way to becoming mayor. Frownley J. Watson, the current mayor running for re-election, was taking a walk at night when Immanuel snuck up and smuggled him into his car. Immanuel wasn't fond of murder, so he left Watson behind in a circus tent. Immanuel ended up winning the election. Following the election, Immanuel started to develop amnesia. He had regained love for father-son after relearning about him. After a while, Immanuel visited the Circus in the Sky and made friends with the circus crew. He became the COT's ringmaster due to his interest in their shows. He is currently 89 years old and the father of Caroline. The Cole Family. The Cole Family is an official group dedicated to praising Noli and even more so reviving him. Noli was believed to be returning on May 18, 2019, though it was proved to be false with the myth ending shortly after the Robbie_Cole account, with them now having a new owner. The group was created on August 13, 2018. The group mostly gained its popularity because YouTuber Mr. Flim Flam Albert made a video on the Cole family. They had a timer which was supposed to count down to Noli's return. Though when the timer hit 0, nothing happened, besides a quote from The Lord of the Rings being played. In January of 2022, ownership of the Cole family group, as well as the Void Concretion, was transferred to Sable Cole. Grailed. Grailed is a popular myth known for his game Cordwoods, which has been changed / revamped a few times. Grailed was born on October 7, 1990 after being reincarnated. He was born in Athens, Greece. He murdered his wife in an argument and his daughter for unknown reason. He's a father of Cranius and Lutherina, and the brother of Manitoba. He mourns the loss of his son, and he has a strong hatred against his brother, Manitoba, the one who killed him. Grailed usually is calm and friendly towards other people, and he tends to defend his close friends in certain situations. This does not hide the fact that Grailed is a murderer. The Obama Bike. The Obama Bike, also known as Ghost Bicycle, is an obscure myth and creepypasta. It is basically a white bike driving itself. The Obama Bike is a bike in the game Roblox City, which moves by itself, as if it was driven by an actual player. The myth was brought into attention by popular YouTuber named Green Lego Cats 123, who showcased in a video posted on October 31st, 2019, titled "The Scariest Thing I've Ever Seen in Roblox." In the video, Green Lego Cats is shown with his brother in the game, riding a police car and chasing a bike that is moving forwards until it hits a hill and flips. Green Lego Cats notes that the bike was still trying to move forward, suggesting a player was riding the bike. Exactly a year later, Green Lego Cats posted another video on the myth on October 31st, 2020, titled "The Only Real Roblox Myth?" In there, he delves more into the myth and shows a recording of the Obama Bike uploaded by Mr. Kenzito. in November 2019 on his YouTube account. The bike that moved by itself in Green Lego Cat's video was most likely a glitch due to being an old game that was last updated in 2019. The footage made by Mr. Kenzito, which Green Lego Cats mistakenly uses as an example, is mostly a trick that he used. There's also a very easy glitch you can do with any vehicle in the game, which allowed the vehicle to move basically. That was the Creepiest Roblox Myths you never heard of, explained.